in the heart of Rajasthan, where the desert stretches toward the horizon and the sky feels endlessly close. A white vision appears to float upon water. This is the Lake Palace, rising from Lake Pichola like a dream that refuses to fade. At sunrise, the marble turns a gentle shade of pink, as if the palace itself is awakening with the first breath of light. By midday, it becomes pure white, reflecting the sun and drifting clouds so completely that stone and sky seem to merge. And at sunset, the palace glows in liquid gold, dissolving into the rippling water until it feels less like architecture and more like a vision. Built in 1746 as a summer retreat for the rulers of Mewar, this island palace was never intended for ordinary eyes. It was conceived as a private sanctuary of power, a world apart, separated from the city not by walls, but by water. Water here was not merely decorative. It was protection. It was separation. It was authority made visible. The only way to reach the palace was by boat. Every arrival became a ritual. The slow glide across the lake prepared the mind for entry into a different reality. Every departure reinforced a single truth: access was a privilege, not a right. From above, the palace appears serene and perfectly balanced, a composition of white geometry resting lightly on the lake's surface. But step inside, and the experience changes. The palace unfolds as a labyrinth of courtyards, terraces, fountains, and carved marble corridors, each carefully designed to cool the air beneath the relentless heat of Rajasthan. In this landscape, water was not only beauty, it was engineering, it was control. It was survival transformed into elegance. The palace stands on an island of just 4 acres, yet every surface speaks of abundance. Marble walls are inlaid with semi-precious stones. Slender columns reflect endlessly in still pools. Silk canopies once drifted gently in the breeze, casting soft shadows that moved like time itself. At night, hundreds of oil lamps transformed the palace into a constellation floating on water. The lake became the sky, and the palace became a star, distant, luminous, untouchable. Life within these walls followed a rhythm shaped by ritual. Mornings began with prayers echoing softly through open courtyards. Perfumed fountains cooled the air, carrying the scent of rose and jasmine. Musicians played in chambers open to the wind, their melodies dissolving into the water beyond the terraces. Meals were served on silver and gold, not as excess, but as language. A language of authority, refinement, and order. Every gesture, every object, every space reinforced the idea that power here was natural, elegant, and eternal. Beyond the palace terraces, the city lived an entirely different life. Markets opened at dawn, boats carried goods and people across the lake. Voices rose, commerce flowed, time moved forward. But from within these marble walls, the outside world appeared distant, like a painted backdrop beyond the water. This distance was intentional. Water created silence. Silence created separation. And separation created myth. The Lake Palace was not designed to be understood. It was designed to be admired and kept apart. Yet isolation always carries a cost. Behind the delicate marble screens and mirrored halls were lives shaped by duty and expectation. Royal women moved through hidden corridors. Courtiers measured their words and movements. The palace was a paradise, but it was also a boundary. As centuries passed, empires shifted. The world beyond the lake changed faster than the world within. Colonial rule arrived. Royal authority diminished. Ceremonies faded. The rhythms of palace life slowed, then fell silent. For a time, it seemed the Lake Palace might become a relic, beautiful, but forgotten. Instead, it entered a new chapter. In the 20th century, the palace did not disappear. It transformed. From a private island of kings, it became one of the most exclusive hotels on earth. The marble corridors were restored, the courtyards were revived, the fountains flowed again. Today, guests arrive the same way royalty once did, by boat, gliding across the quiet lake. The experience remains ceremonial. The air still carries the scent of water and stone. Light still dances across marble floors as it has for centuries. But now, the story belongs to the world. The palace has become a bridge between past and present, a place where history is not locked behind glass, but lives on in reflections, footsteps, and silence. Standing here at twilight, as the city lights of Udaipur begin to shimmer across the lake, something becomes clear. This palace was never only about luxury. It was about the human desire to create beauty that outlives us. To build something so harmonious that time seems to slow in its presence. To shape stone and water into a memory that refuses to fade. The Lake Palace is not just an island. It is a moment suspended between worlds. A reminder that architecture can speak, softly, patiently, even when surrounded by silence. Here, water does not isolate. It reflects. And in that reflection, history remains alive. Thank you for walking through this royal dream with us. Subscribe to continue the journey into the world's most timeless palaces, until the next story, where history and beauty meet once again.